Alright, so last time we looked at Mystic Code, something that can literally be used inside of a flip phone. It can also be used in some certain books, like what was it, Shinji? Yeah, he used Astafol, Caster, yeah, certain things like that. Using a weapon like the knife or dagger that was given to Kiritsugu, or at least he took it. Then after that, Kiritsugu gave it to Ren. Um, so yeah, you just had a little bit of that, and now today we're going to be looking at divine constructs. Yeah, divine constructs. But the real question is, are you guys ready? Do you have your pencil? Do you have your notebook? You gotta need these things. Cause honestly, I don't. I got them right here, but I just gotta show you guys, like, just an example. What you need to just be successful in this class, become a successful mage. So make sure you guys got that, take down the notes, and then hey, let's just get this started. Alright, so here we
In our
go.
previous lesson, I spoke of mystic codes, the
Yeah, those
various
codes.
tools and weapons that mages use to channel or supplement their magecraft. To remain on the topic of various trinkets and relics, I feel that it would help to speak of a much more powerful type of weapon, the divine construct.
Okay.
It takes the idea of crafting an item to an entirely new level, as these constructs are not merely forged by man for their own use, but rather forged by the planet itself for mankind's collective wishes. All in all, it is a far more enigmatic process, and while the average mage will likely never encounter a divine construct in person, simply knowing what our planet is capable of producing is far worth the time it takes to
So
learn
it's
of it.
something that the planet
To
gives you
reiterate
and
in
not
the
something you can
simplest
really
terms,
create.
Our planet Earth has energy and a consciousness called Gaia. Gaia acts to protect the planet and its inhabitants, which includes humans. Ironically, however, humans present one of the greatest threats to the planet, and to mediate
Yeah.
this discrepancy, Gaia split to incorporate a second consciousness we call Alaya.
It's like we are
Essentially, Alaya
literally
is
the
form of
threats to
humanity's collective
ourselves.
unconscious, our collective will to survive. It is from Alaya that we have both the counterforce and
Oh, hold up.
counter-guardian systems. In addition,
Yeah, I remember that.
Alaya is the source of power for gods and divine spirits. Since their inception, humans have often relied on belief, myth, and superstition to explain life's greatest mysteries. What is life? Why are we here? What happens when we die? The imagining of gods has
You'll
helped
never
provide
know
answers
unless
to
it
these
happens
questions
yourself.
in most every civilization throughout history. Responding to that collective worship, Alaya reacts by birthing and empowering those gods to exist in a tangible form. In that regard, there is no true god, but rather all gods exist in proportion to the amount of human worship they receive. Divine constructs in relation are armaments made and used by the gods. They are tools or weapons crafted either directly by a god, or born from the same human worship that gives gods their power. While both history and mythology are filled with legendary weapons, only some of them possess this divine quality, placing them on a higher tier of destructive might. Because of this, even mages who can envision and project legendary weapons cannot faithfully replicate the might of divine constructs.
Okay, so you can't even project
It's
that.
worth mentioning that the formation of divine constructs surpasses the temporal structure in which they're historically introduced. For instance, the prototype of all divine constructs is the sword belonging to Mars, the Greek and Roman god of war. Despite there being mythologies much older than in ancient Greece, this war god's sword, known as Photon Ray, was initially used to combat the titan Altera, who invaded Earth long ago. Sadly, this being, the Scourge of God, was able to defeat Mars and claim Photon Ray for herself. The sword's blade consists of 3 colored bands of light.
Yeah, it's pretty colorful
capable of
there.
destroying all existence on Earth. Needless to say, the Titan's possession of this blade nearly ended our world, wishes, if not for the prowess of a different divine construct. Excalibur.
Excalibur, yeah.
Is considered the strongest of all.
I knew he was going to talk about it because he showed that
crystallized within the
first.
planet from humanity's wishes for salvation. In other words, it is the embodiment of hope. While this divine sword is most famous in the hands of King Arthur, it was first forged and entrusted to the fairies, only reaching Artoria's hands through the efforts of Vivian, the Lady of the Lake. It was thanks to Excalibur's light that the Titan Altera was ultimately defeated. Functionally, it is a sword that amplifies its user's mana, channeling it into a destructive beam of light. The effect is even greater in the hands of warriors like Artoria, who were born with the factor of the dragon. Just like Arthur herself, however, Excalibur is vulnerable to corruption. It has an evil attribute more akin to Artoria's sister Morgana. This form,
Wait,
Excalibur
Morgana.
Morgan, is no less
Okay.
powerful, but instead unleashes a blackened beam. There exists potentially an even stronger form of the blade in a parallel world in which the famous King Arthur is male as legends typically describe. Its appearance is slightly different from our world's Excalibur, and possesses another layer of power held back by the restraints of the Round Table. Essentially, this Excalibur can only reach its full potential when approved by the 13 Knights of the Round Table, each releasing a seal on the blade to ensure it is used for the good of the planet.
You know, actually, I need to know more about the Round Table. I only know some of them.
In its proper form, Rungominiad is a tower or pillar of light that holds together
Yeah, I
our
can see
world
that.
on its reverse side. Artoria Pendragon uses the tower, manifested as a holy lance that can conjure a light of destruction from the heavens. This spear is also limited by the restraints of the Round Table, and can only be invoked when at least 7 restraints are lifted. The use of divine constructs was not merely limited to the king. One of her most cherished knights, Lancelot, possessed the sword Erendite, the unfading light of the lake that, like Excalibur itself, had been protected by fairies. In fact, it is a counterpart blade to Excalibur, and can be used similarly to defeat entire armies. Sir Lancelot, however, harnesses the blade's light to perform Erendite Overload, which concentrates it into a single slash. While those weapons were forged in the waters of the planet, many are the direct product of specific gods. For instance, the various armaments crafted by the Olympian blacksmith Hephaestus. He's responsible for Zeus's lightning bolts, as well as Aegis Eclipse, the bow made for the superhuman hunter Orion.
Yeah, we're
Perhaps
going
more
way back.
impressive is the shield Hephaestus made for the Greek hero Achilles. It is called
My
Achilles
boy
Cosmos,
Orion.
the miniature world enclosed by the azure sky. It functions as a bounded field, reproducing Achilles' world into a miniature form to defend against attacks, under the motto, to oppose this shield is to make an enemy of the entire world. The sea god Poseidon's trident also qualifies as a divine construct.
Yeah, that's looking crazy right there.
The trident can control all authorities of the sea, but as of late, it is used in a much more limited capacity by the warrior Canis of the Argonauts.
Okay,
Moving on from Greek mythology, we enter the Celtic sphere with Argitlam, the silver arm of Nuada, the Celtic god of war in the sea from the Tuatha De Danann. During one of Chaldea's exploits, this arm is fashioned into a prosthetic for Sir Bedivere of the Round Table, allowing him to conceal the Excalibur he refused to return to the Lady of the Lake. Some of the most powerful deities in the world have come
Gilgamesh.
from Mesopotamian myth, and many of their armaments found their way into Gilgamesh's Gate of Babylon. His most
So
destructive
Enema-
weapon is by far Ea, the Sword of Rupture,
Yeah.
named after the god of water, wisdom, and incantations. It was forged long before swords had their traditional shape, making it more equivalent to a wand than a blade. It was created as a weapon that only Gilgamesh himself could use, and what should be its blade are instead 3 rotating segments that represent the heavens, earth, and underworld respectively. Functionally, Ea is a key to unleashing a devastating attack called Enuma Elish.
Yeah, Enema Elish, yep. Or how he said it.
Blade distorts
Elish.
space-time, annihilating the fabric of worlds. This destruction can only be partially negated by a blast from Excalibur, and the only means of truly defending it are contained within Excalibur's scabbard, Avalon. In all other cases, there is simply no escaping Ea's wrath. To continue
Hey,
Gilgamesh's rampant authority,
that boy Shido was
turn
able to
the
get
gods'
through that
favor,
though,
The gods created Enkidu,
or at
the
least
chains
take care of him.
Despite being a living being with autonomy of their own, Enkidu counts as a divine construct that can transform into literal chains that specialize in binding divine beings. The chains remain as part of Gilgamesh's arsenal, though when manifested independently,
Oh yeah, I remember
Enkidu
those.
can use them to invoke their own form of Enuma Elish to protect humans.
Oh, those chains. Yeah, that weapons, all that he be using.
Gilgamesh also possesses Ig Alima, green field cutting through the Thousand Mountains. It is one of two swords wielded by the Sumerian deity Zababa. Its size is so massive that it can carve into thousands of mountains at a time. Naturally, Gilgamesh himself cannot lift it as such.
Oh.
Instead, he utilizes the Gate of Babylon to drop or shoot the blades as a gargantuan projectile.
Yeah, Calbus,
By being in the
I've never seen him use that
acts as a
before.
bridge, ramp, or battlefield all its own. Zababa's other blade was known as Sul Sagana, the horizon of dawn that purifies the seas. Rather than a mere sword, Sul Sagana emits molten flames and beams in addition to cleaving opponents. In that sense, it is more furnace than sword, capable of burning away even the oceans. Similar to Enkidu, another living construct happens to be Gugulana, the Bull of Heaven.
Yeah, I can see that little face there, those eyes.
After being humiliated by Gilgamesh. Clad in storms, this bull brought flood and famine to Uruk for 7 years, until being slain by Gilgamesh and Enkidu. From Sumer to Norse mythology, we have Levitain, sword like a sun that becomes a calamity. It is a composite weapon made from combining the giant Surtur's flaming sword with Freyr's sword of the sun and weapons from Loki. Despite being sealed by Surtur's wife, Sinmara, Levitain can torch both.
I'd want something like that.
From our world.
No.
Mjolnir, the hammer of Thor.
Just a color on it? No,
The
man.
dwarven brothers Brokor and Sindri.
I'd want something like
used
that.
For melee attacks as well as channeling thunder. It is wielded by Beatrice Flowerchild, a doll of
Wait,
the Ainsworth
I don't know who
family
that
via
is.
a Berserker class card. While useful, taking advantage of this weapon comes with significant risk. For if Thor's divine core within gets fractured, it will wreak havoc on the world on the same destructive level as Ragnarok. Lastly, we have divine constructs from Indian mythology. The two rivaling warriors of the Mahabharata, Arjuna and Karna, each possess a construct of great renown. Arjuna was given Pashupata, raised hand of the destructive god, by Shiva, the greater god of destruction and creation. Rather than decimating entire armies at once, Pashupata's destruction targets individuals and delivers to them moksha, the release from the cycle of rebirth, upon being judged. Karna's construct is Vasavi Shakti, O sun, abide to death, a spear of light.
Yeah, that's all I remember. Thankfully he said that, because I didn't know what he just said there.
Indra respected Karna's nobility, and in recompense granted him the spear. Vasavi Shakti stands taller than Karna himself, with a massive tip that could not be wielded by a normal human. While he never invoked the spear's true name in life, Karna is able to use it as a noble phantasm when discarding his armor to unleash a lightning strike capable of killing even the gods. In summation, divine constructs are powerful weapons crafted either by the gods themselves or the planet using humanity's collective unconscious. Just like the gods, divine constructs have fallen out of prominence as mankind moved into a technological era. Clearly, though, our Earth is quite a remarkable planet, but it would be foolish to glorify our humble rock while ignoring the merits of other celestial bodies. Thus, our next lesson shall cover the planets, stars, and the mysterious entities known as types, or ultimate ones.
Alright, so we get to learn more about that. Sort of like, what, a universal, galactical type of level. So, yeah, there we go with the divine constructs. So, yeah, it's something that the gods can create, or just something that the world just makes out of nowhere, right? Something that the world can make on its own. Yeah, he said that other saying, but I'm like, hold up, I don't know about the first one he said. Yeah, I remember the move, or yeah, the name of the moves that he did, some of them. But like, yeah, I don't know about the first one he just said. But yeah, luckily I was able to look at Karna, what he could do. Still to this day, I'm like, Apocrypha, it's gotta have the best fights I've ever seen. It's like it's back to back too. How do you have that much budget? Cause I mean I saw like what was it, 3 fights in just one episode. Then yeah, Karna versus like Sig or something. It was too much. Like or was it Karna? Yeah, it was just a lot, man. Like yeah, K Ron versus Achilles, man. But yeah, luckily I was able to see what Karna could do, because I wanted to see what he could do the most. He seems the most interesting to me. So it seems like yeah, Gilgamesh he has a lot more than what I thought he did. Because unless I miss it somewhere, I do not remember him using this sword. But then he did say Gilgamesh could even really pick it up himself. I do know, yeah, obviously I know the chains, yeah. Be, what, chain down Berserker. Yeah, some other people. I know that. And then definitely this here. So it was Enema Elish. Okay, I said Enema Elish. That's how I called it. So yeah, Elish. So yeah, good thing I get to know at least more about it. Like yeah, all I knew was just that it could really take down like the reality marbles. Yeah, the best example was Iskandar. Yeah, completely just took that away. His whole reality marble, all of that. So yeah, that's just what I knew it could do. Mostly, just cancel all that out. And yeah, it seems like the only way to really stop not some, but stop a divine constructs like power, like if something's about to happen, the only way is to just use another. Unless you find some other way to do it. So, I mean, I did see this version of Saber, except it was just like really in. Well, I know Heaven's Feel. I think it's in there. Yeah, I still got to look at the other movie, but yeah, I did see it in Prisma Ia, so I saw that version of her. But yeah, I think yeah, looking at it like Heaven's Feel, wherever else I saw it, yeah, I think that would be the better um, look at her, see what she can really do in that form. But yeah, that's about it. And yeah, I'd be yeah. So Shido wouldn't even be able to really project it. Cause I know, yeah, he's able to do things that normal mages, yeah, like normal people wouldn't even be able to do if they could project. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually did it anyways. Did it even though gods are only able to make it, or you know, the earth sort of makes it on its own. But yeah, I'm gonna just end this off here. Hope you guys did enjoy though. Make sure you like, subscribe again, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.